And we are now officially live. We are very fortunate enough to have the very famous, and I say famous because this is definitely a very exciting thing, the very famous Tegan Phillips. And Tegan used to be a student of mine, and then she became a teacher for the Living Maths program. And now she is going to embark on what I would term an incredible adventure. And before we get into that, I first want to just delve into the type of person that Tegan is, because Tegan has been on many adventures, and maybe when you get to know a bit more about her, you'll get to see the context of where she fits in as an adventurer. So Tegan, thank you so much for being here. And the first question is, you and your family started off last year doing something crazy. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, basically, we decided all to take a year off.
We all decided. Who was we all?
So that was my dad, my mom, and my little sister.
And we are now officially live. Sorry, I think someone's playing a YouTube video. There we go. Okay. Yeah.
And we thought it would be fun to do a cycle trip to Africa. So we gave up our house, and my parents quit their jobs. My sister postponed her studying. I just finished studying, and off we went with our bicycles. Everything that we on the trip was what we carried on our bicycles, and then we just left from our house.
So what compels a person to drop whatever they have and go on an adventure like that? I mean, are you all avid cyclists? Because that's a long time for a bum and a bicycle seat to be spending together.
Yes, yeah. By the end of it, our bicycle saddles were quite well molded. What compels us?
I mean, you don't just suddenly think today, I think we're going to go and cycle around the whole of Africa. I mean, yeah, let's do it. Let's just sell. Would you guys sell everything that you have and then just go and cycle around your state? Probably not. So what compelled you to do it?
Well, it was a little bit like that, actually.
Okay.
I think spontaneity is good. I think we all just wanted to well, for one, spend some time together as a family. Obviously, when the kids are in high school, mom and dad are working, you all are so put up in your own lives all the time that you almost don't get to spend a lot of quality time getting to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then getting to see Africa, for sure, was a big... I'm South African, and I've never seen another African country before, even though my mom's from Malawi. And there's the just going on an adventure aspect, which is everybody loves adventure, some more than others.
I like how you put that.
Different types of adventure. And definitely a big factor was, a lot of families travel, but my dad has instilled in us this value of having a lot of respect for the environment. And so we wanted to do it in a way that would be sort of environmentally friendly or help us raise our environmental consciousness.
Wow, okay, so that's quite a tough way to learn about the environment, to actually go and give up all your creature comforts and travel around Africa. I mean, surely you weren't staying in hotels?
Mostly not. Mostly in a tent.
In a tent. So were you staying in parts of Africa where they had wild animals?
Well, when we left, South Africa was pretty fine, not too wild. And when we got into Botswana, the top half of Botswana, more or less, is just an open game reserve. So that was very interesting because we spent many nights in our tents thinking about all the elephants wandering around us. Actually, elephants were the scariest animal because...
Not lions.
Lions were also scary. They were all a little bit scary. I was the only one in my whole family that was scared. Can you believe it?
They were not scared of lions and elephants
No.
and hyenas, and I mean, you've got some crazy animals out there.
Yes, they were crazy. And well, I don't know. My parents were quite brave. Maybe they were just pretending to be brave. My sister didn't really like the idea of camping with the lions because you could hear them outside the tent. The same with hyenas, but apparently, if you're inside a tent, that they don't know that the tent is actually breakable, so they won't attack. But
is this what they tell you? And then afterwards you find out that was absolute nonsense. You're like, I can't believe we just did that.
maybe.
I mean, you see videos on Facebook and on the internet of people who are lying in their tent and the lionesses are licking the dew off the side there. I mean, you could be sitting going, oh, that is so cool. Or you could be sitting going, that could be me next.
Yes, it was very exciting to wake up every morning and still have all of our limbs attached. It was the actual cycling, like past the animals. So when you're in our tents, it was one thing. We did get chased by an elephant one time, which was extremely scary. But
they're not the world's fastest creature.
They're faster than me. But yeah, when cycling past them, if they get a fight or something, we heard so many stories about people who'd been pronged.
Oh, with the tusks.
Yeah, they're doing the bicycles give them a fight. So anyway.
Okay, so you travel around Africa, and I just need to remind the people that are watching that, of course, and Mr. McNulty wants to know, how far did you actually cycle? Could you quantify it, your trip?
It was the total trip was 18,000 kilometers, but we took a train and a bus and a few things. Our train got derailed in the middle of nowhere, which was fun. But cycling in total was 11,000 kilometers.
11,000 kilometers. I mean, I do that in the mornings just for warm up, so it's not bad. I mean, you can give us some credit. That is insane. That's a long journey. So your bikes, did they manage to last the whole trip? Did you lose any bikes along the way? Did your bikes break down, or?
We almost lost the bikes many times. In Uganda, we had booked bus tickets, and some of us, we put one bicycle in the bus, and the others couldn't fit. So my dad and I told my mom and sister to go get on the bus and just wait for us to figure out how to fit in the rest of the bikes. And next thing, the bus had left, and it was going to Kenya, like to the other side. It was a good 24-hour journey, and mom and sister didn't have passports, so that was one time we were separated from the bikes. Another time, in Kenya, we had our bikes in a different carriage to us, and we're taking also a cross-country train. The train, 3 carriages fell over in the middle of nowhere, and so we were separated from our bikes again as we tried to make our way into Zambia from Tanzania.
Wow, that is just insane. I mean, a lot of stress, obviously, on a trip like that, but much closer as a family unit because of that. And then, of course, Lyndon wanted to know, where do these bikes come from? So we need to focus the feed a little bit. Is that Mr. B is watching Tegan from somewhere else, and he says he couldn't see Tegan. If I bring it a little bit closer, is that better, Mr. B? I hope it is. And we might also have some questions coming from people as we go along. But you as a family, you got together, you go and do this trip, you come back, and now you have to settle back into civilization, which is quite an adjustment. But no, not Tegan. Why adjust to civilization when you can go on another adventure? So where did you go next?
Well, first I came to Living Maths.
You came to teach for Living Maths, yes.
And that was good to keep me a little bit crazy, not to have to get too back.
Yeah, we didn't want your sanity to start to prevail, yes.
And then I headed to Wales for quite a ridiculous reason, because I don't really enjoy cold or rain.
Okay.
And And there are lots of amazing places in the world to cycle, but what gave me the idea to go there is that it was Roald Dahl's 100th birthday, and he was born in Wales, and they made 2016 the official Welsh year of adventure. So I thought, oh, I'll go cycle there. So I did.
So because of Roald Dahl, you went to Wales, and then you went to go and cycle there. How far did you cycle there?
I wish I knew, but halfway through I broke my little cycling kilometer thing, and because of I didn't really have a route. I sort of would every day go in a sort of different direction. So I ended up going kind of like this, which was...
Did you even go to any Roald Dahl festival?
No.
And that was the purpose for going to Wales?
I didn't even get to go to his town where he was born, or go to the Roald Dahl Museum in London. So that's on hold.
Okay. So now that we've given you a context for what we are dealing with, Tegan entered a competition. Can you tell us a bit about this competition? It was for a grant, is that right?
Yeah, for an adventure grant.
Who enters for an adventure grant?
For people who want to go on adventures.
Okay, so if you are looking to go on an adventure and you want to obviously do something crazy, but you don't have the money to do it, you apply for a grant.
Pretty much,
and you applied to who?
Well, there's a very, very cool, interesting company in the UK who actually are not an adventure-based company at all. They are a consulting firm in London, and it's a small company as well. And last year, they just spontaneously, I think it's amazing. They just sponsored this adventure for two guys to cycle through South America on these like lying down tricycles.
No. Okay, so they sponsored two guys to go and do that, and then the next year they thought, well, what could we do next?
Pretty much, they thought we should do this every year. So they made a thing. So they're Alton Consulting, and they made a grant that they put out in public to say we will give this significant amount of money to a person who can give us their idea for an adventure, and if we like the idea, then we will give you the money. And
what was the absolutely insane idea that you proposed? It's coming from her, not from me. You have to hear this. What was this insane idea?
Well, I thought that I've never been to New Zealand, and I've heard it's very nice for being cold and rainy.
Which is something you don't enjoy, yeah.
And very beautiful as well. And so I thought I could go there, but it has to be a record-setting adventure. So I couldn't just go and cycle around like normal with all my bags and things. And I'm not very good at swimming I don't have too much experience of swimming or running. So I thought it would be a real adventure if I tried to do a triathlon around the whole of the South Island. And it would be trying new things and learning new things.
Okay, just hold on. I hope you're following this. Tegan is doing a triathlon. She's not the world's greatest swimmer. She's not the world's greatest runner. She's pretty okay with cycling. But of course, a triathlon, she decided to push it up a little bit. What did you propose?
So just basically trying to cover these distances.
40-kilometer swim, 1,800-kilometer bike, and 422-kilometer run. Where did you get these numbers from, and why are they so big?
It's the distances of 10 Ironmans.
Okay, so for those of you who have ever heard of the Ironman, and I'm not talking about Tony Stark, I'm talking about the big race where you run, you cycle, and you swim, and people who generally do the Ironman, when they finished and they get a medal, you sit there and you go, we're not worthy. Tegan, how many Ironmen have you done?
None.
She's never done one Ironman, and now she's proposing to do 10. I hope you're picking up a theme here about climbing out of your comfort zone. Here is a person who doesn't like the cold, but is going to New Zealand because she heard it's cold. She's not a great swimmer, but she's going to go and do 40 kilometers of swimming. She's not a great runner. Do you run?
I do now. I've been
You do
training
now?
very, very hard.
Okay, so now we need to talk about this. How do you train? So this event is now called the New Zealand Epic. Is that right?
Yes.
And do you think that you are going to be doing this alone? Or do you think people would want to join in on your crazy adventure?
Well, I'm hoping that as I pass through towns, maybe locals will come and join me for cycling, a day or two, or running with me for a while. It will be some good motivation.
I mean, I would join you just until the end of the street, but I mean, this is insane.
You can meet me for ice cream afterwards.
Ice cream, that sounds like a very good idea. So how do you train for 10 Ironmen? I mean, I know people who train for one Ironman, they are obviously spending 6 months doing it. So you're obviously in your 15th year now, training for this 10 Ironmen?
Yes, yeah.
No.
15 to 16. I think it's luckily with since the cycle trip last year, I've just been keeping my fitness up by doing running, walking, cycling, and a bit of swimming, just like where I can. And now in terms of proper training, I've been training with a really cool triathlon squad, which is where I'm going after this to swim here, called My Training Day. And we do a bit of swim, bike, run most days.
And when you've told them what you're planning to do, did they laugh in your face, or were they polite and laugh to the side? I mean, we're talking a major event here.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the talk is behind, like that I don't see how much.
But obviously it doesn't affect you, because you're the only person I know who runs towards things that you're not comfortable doing. So if they say it's really impossible, that's actually going to spur you on.
Well, what the coaches have said is that it's going to be a totally mental challenge. And that also I'll sort of get quite fit along the way. So it's more just with any endurance thing that I've done in the past, it's just a matter of mentally not letting your body stop until you physically fall over and die.
Okay, sure. And now we've just had Mr. McNulty and his students who in the USA, they left. Okay, so were you doing this? You get the grant, you're now going to do this event. What happens if you don't finish?
I will finish.
I like that attitude. So not finishing is not an option.
Well, I mean, there's always a chance that I could maybe fall off the mountain and break my leg. But that doesn't mean that I can't finish. It just means that I'm out to finish it, unconscious.
Okay, I love this attitude of never giving up. So, but of course, you're not doing this for yourself, though. There's obviously a purpose behind this whole mission. Tell us about this purpose.
So, I will be trying to raise 250 bicycles for World Bicycle Relief, which is the most fantastic organization in the whole world, in my opinion, up there with Living Math.
Okay, well, there we go. That's not bad.
They basically provide bicycles, or to give a bit of background, when we were cycling on our trip last year, we met a lot of people who were really, really incredible people, and really smart and willing to go out and do things in the world. And they just couldn't, a lot of them, because the nearest town or school or something to them was maybe, say, 30 kilometers away, or even 20 kilometers away. From here, like in in Cape Town, there's a lot of people who go to school 20 kilometers away. And you just drive every morning. But now, if you imagine that you don't have a car, you don't have a bicycle, that's a good 3 or 4 hours walk.
And people do that.
And so you get school kids who either have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get to school by 8, and then, the same. So that's about 8 hours walking a day, which is difficult. Obviously, a lot of school kids, it means that they can't go to school. They don't go to school as often as they would otherwise. And the same with people having jobs and things. So it's very frustrating for them that they can't even afford to buy a bicycle or get a taxi or something because they don't have a job, and they can't get a job because they live too far away. So I started to feel quite strongly about this, especially being very passionate about cycling anyway, and cycling being environmentally friendly. And then I found out about World Bicycle Relief, which they make these really cool things called buffalo bikes, which are these heavy steel, strong bikes with not lots of complicated parts, like basically very easy to maintain, just getting somebody from one place to the next place that they need to be. And they also train mechanics. And
what do they cost for a bike like that?
One bicycle is £95.
£95. So let's make it £100, and it's what, 16 rand to the pound, or
16 or 17, yeah.
So you're looking at about 1,600 rand for a bike, and you're looking to get 250 of them. So that's a fair amount of money. Are you looking to raise the money, or are you looking to raise the bikes? You're looking to both? What is your goal?
How it works is, so like on the NZ Epic website, I've got a link that takes you to my fundraising page on the World Bicycle Relief website, and people can donate any amount of money to the fundraiser, and that money is translated into bicycles. So you can see, so far I've raised about, I think, 43,000 rand.
That is incredible.
So that's exciting.
So you're pretty much getting there. When is your actual New Zealand Epic going to start?
Well, this time next week I'll be on the airplane.
No. So it's happening like now.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Does this mean that we're going to be able to connect with you while you are in New Zealand?
I hope so.
And hopefully find out about how the adventure is going?
Yes, I'll be, for the first time ever, I'll have my own support vehicle with a filmmaker and chef and with one person in it who will have to be navigator, driver, filmmaker, and she is going to be doing video updates, as apparently the internet there is sometimes a bit tricksy.
But as in most places around the world, and if you're out in the mountains and stuff.
Yeah. But we're going to try and do video updates, as often as we can, like hopefully at least every day, which will hopefully be some beautiful scenery and some...
That is amazing. Now, what people don't know is that Tegan is also a cartoonist. And Tegan kept the most amazing digital blog of her trip to Africa, where she did incredible cartoons on her iPad. Will you be doing the same on this journey?
I think I won't be able to do cartoon updates as many as I would like to along the way, because it's going to be pretty much just...
you won't be able to move your fingers.
And basically, on the day we start probably on the 1st of November, and I think from then, the only time that I'll be doing anything other than being on the move is when I'm sleeping or eating.
Okay.
That's my plan. But I will maybe try and fit in some cartoons. In the meanwhile, I've been doing lots of cartoons.
For marketing and promotion.
And also before, so one of the ways that I thought would be nice to say thank you to people who donate bicycles is if you donate the value of a wheel set, which is £35 or more, then I will make you your own personalized cartoon.
Wow, you heard that. So if you are looking for your own personalized cartoon, for £35, you will be helping someone get a bicycle, and you will get a hand-drawn cartoon from Tegan. And she is talented. We will put links to her blog from her trip to Africa. We'll put them up on the website as well, because not only is she talented at drawing, but very humorous too. So you also have a potential career in stand-up or sit-down comic. I don't know, maybe there's a chance there, because you seem to be able to see the humorous side of life, and that's because maybe you don't take too many things too seriously. Do you ever stress?
Sometimes I can't find the ice cream shop.
Okay, so that's a real stress. I can get you there. I understand if you can't find an ice cream shop, it can lead to incredible stress, but you don't stress about the fact that you have to ride X number of kilometers or swim that many. I mean, first of all, swimming that far, how long is it going to take you to complete the New Zealand epic?
The official goal is 25 days.
25 days. So basically, if you're leaving next week, which is approximately the 10th or so of October, give or take a few days, and you're going to then spend how long before you start, or you're going to start straight away?
No, so we start 1st November. I'll have 2 weeks in New Zealand to go and explore and meet some people. And
so you'll be back by December.
Then I'm going to Australia.
Then you're going to Australia for how long?
I don't know. I only book one-way tickets.
She only books one-way tickets. She's really quite incredible. So, I mean, you've got all of this going. You're hoping to do 25 days, but you don't really know.
I'm hoping to do less. But
you want to do it in less. Okay. Look, I take my hat off to you, because I think that anyone that is able to accomplish that sort of incredible journey and still have goals to achieve all of that and still get it right, I mean, that's insane. What does your family think of it? They know how crazy the Africa trip was. Now you're telling them what you want to do, which is quite insane in a shorter amount of time. What is their opinion?
Well, they're sort of not too...
they're not phased about it.
They actually helped me come up with the idea. It was very spontaneous the night we sat down, and I said, I found this amazing grant and I want to get it. So what can I do? And we just sat down and thought, oh, that would be fun.
I mean, they could have said 5 Ironmen. They could have said 3 Ironmen, because that in itself is but 10.
Well, you better make it different.
4 would have been different. I mean, are there any events that are equivalent to this anywhere in the world?
Well, a sort of friend of mine, Sean Conway, just did a triathlon around the whole of Great Britain, which is the world's longest triathlon.
The longest triathlon, and how many kilometers swimming, running, and cycling was that one?
It was further than mine.
So it's further north. So yours is not a world record in terms of the longest triathlon.
It's New Zealand's longest triathlon.
But it's New Zealand's longest triathlon. So a South African is going to go to New Zealand and break the record for the only triathlon that's like that, because you created it.
Yes.
That's not bad. I mean, that's really good. But at the end of the day, I mean, you would love people to join you on the trip, and you would love people to support the cause.
Yeah.
Do you get to interact with the people who are going to get those bicycles at the end?
Well, I've been quite fortunate to be in touch with the World Bicycle Relief organizers in the UK and in Cape Town, and I'd love to see how, to go. They've got like distribution points in various African countries, and there's quite a big. So they are with Quebec in South Africa. So when I do come back to Africa, then I will definitely try and find out how to connect with.
Wow. And what if people have bicycles they just want to donate? Could that work?
I think that, I mean, that's a very popular thing and a very wonderful thing. I think it doesn't, World Bicycle Relief don't do, well, they build their own bicycles,
Yes.
but there are lots of organizations that I'm very keen to support as well. Just
So technically, I mean, people might say, listen, I don't have the money, but I've got an old bike that I'm not using. Would you be willing to take the bike? And then you'd have a charity maybe here, or maybe even New Zealand, that would take the bike and then distribute it to people they need.
I will go and research places that distribute bicycles in Africa and definitely put that on the website.
And if any of you have bikes or you have money that you would like to sponsor Tegan, and if you want to run or swim or cycle with Tegan anywhere in New Zealand, you are welcome to do so, because it would be nice to have company along the way.
It's very, very nice. Especially if they don't mind me like secretly tying a rope to their bicycle.
I think that would be me. I mean, I would have a tricycle, because I recently bought a bike because I was so empowered by your story that I decided I need to find out what all the fuss is about. And I actually got a bike. And I got onto the bike about a couple of weeks ago, and I realized that my bum and the bicycle seat were never made to be together. So then someone told me to go and get one of those gel covers that you put over it. It felt very nice when I pushed on the seat, but when you actually sit on the seat, it didn't really make much of a difference. I think I need a wider seat. How wide do these seats go? Can you get like a chopper seat?
We could maybe take the seat out of your car and somehow...
Now that would work for me. I think a car seat would be incredibly comfortable. We just need an engine to cycle for me. And there we go. Then I don't know what people are complaining about.
Well, when I was in Wales now, I met up with some friends of mine who are a French couple cycling around the world, carrying their two daughters, putting them in a trailer.
No.
So I can put you in a trailer if you want. Just pull you along.
But there are some people who do that. In fact, you probably know Kaylee Mycroft.
Yes, my mom works.
Well, there we go. So your mom works with Kaylee, and Kaylee is someone that we've interviewed as well. And Kaylee recently was the first, no, I don't know the first person, but she climbed Mount Everest, not Mount Everest, Mount Kilimanjaro, sorry, big mistake there. Mount Kilimanjaro, she climbed in a wheelchair, and she was the first wheelchair-bound person to get to do the Two Oceans Marathon. Was it Two Oceans?
Was it maybe the Comrades?
Or I think it was the Two Oceans, but I think because she's done that, she qualifies for the Comrades.
She's definitely, she's going to be the first person to do something, because I know that the Kelly campaign has been doing incredible work with looking at the pushing running race regulations to make them more inclusive.
But now she's done many cycle tours. So she's done the Argus cycle tours. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I mean, so maybe, I mean, you know, if you want to make your job even harder, I mean, how many kilometers are you cycling?
What do you mean?
Only like 1,800. So you could probably, you know, add someone on the back as well and take them around. Maybe a celebrity.
Yeah, for a future adventure, I would absolutely love to do that. Maybe like pulling someone Cairo to Cape Town or something.
You know, I actually know some people who work at NASA who might be able to assist. And in fact, we have someone sitting here in this office hiding away. And we're going to ask Jim just to say a few words, because, you know, you've been listening to all of this over here. Jim Adams is actually going to be giving a talk tonight at the Cape Town Science Centre. And Jim is the recently retired Chief Deputy Technologist. Is that right? The Deputy Chief Technologist. It's very technical, from NASA. And maybe you have something that you'd like to say about, I mean, you know about people who go on adventures that push the boundaries. So just a 30-second message, and I'll turn this around so that you can see Jim.
So what I want to say is I'm so inspired by what Tegan wants to do that I want a selfie with her.
Oh, that is very cool.
Except that my camera stopped working.
You can use mine and I'll send
Here
it to
we
you.
go. Here we go. Okay, Tegan. So, and then I kind of want to know why New Zealand?
Why New Zealand?
Well, I've had this idea for New Zealand for quite a while. Just that we've had so many. We host a lot of cycle tourists at our house, and a lot of them have come through and said New Zealand is so beautiful for cycling. But one of the, I suppose, another main reason is I heard that hobbits live there.
So you're going to go on a hobbit hunt?
Yeah, also I don't know if some of them are dangerous.
I love it. But I mean, you've been with NASA for many years,
yes.
And you've seen people pushing the envelope and going beyond their comfort zone. But of course, there are checks and balances in place, and nothing happens overnight. It takes many years of preparation. What do you think of someone who just says, "Yeah, no, I'm sitting at a one-way ticket and off I go"? And
I love it. I love it. It's obviously not a thing a government agency would do. You know, you would have support vans following you, and we'd probably put a GPS tracker on you, and we'd be measuring your heart rate constantly and assuring that you're drinking the right amount of water and all that kind of stuff. But
boring stuff, yeah. Who needs that?
But the extreme adventurer in you is definitely, that's the kernel of an astronaut, isn't it?
There we go. So, have you ever contemplated space before?
Maybe my next adventure.
Yeah.
Who has ever cycled in space?
Yeah. So, you know, we have certain ways that we explore planets, right? We fly by them, we orbit them, we rove them. Some of them were contemplated by exploring with balloons and submarines even, but we've never actually thought about exploring a planet with a bicycle.
Was there ever a plan, and I heard about this, was there ever a plan for a lunar bicycle?
Not that I know of.
I saw an image of one. It was never used, but there was a concept of a lunar bicycle where they were looking to maybe ride around on the moon. Or is that just absolute nonsense?
It's got to be nonsense, because moving around in a spacesuit would be impossible. So
unless it's, you know, it's nice and
then we went in like a huge bubble.
That's right. You could do that maybe. I don't know.
Well, what would happen if you were on a device that you could cycle, but obviously it would have like 4x4, so you would move the 4x4 around like that?
I don't know. You know, if you go to the National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C., there's an airplane hanging there that was human powered. Somebody actually flew an airplane by basically pedaling a bicycle. That might be your next bet. Maybe
that's not a bad idea.
The next world record is flying a human powered airplane.
Very cool.
Oh, now that sounds dangerous. Miss I Sleep with Lions.
The word danger comes up, and now she's starting to like that. Yeah.
That is so funny.
That
is so funny. Wow.
That would be very, very exciting.
Pretty awesome what you've planned out. I'm going to watch your progress.
Well, I'm keen to find out if there were any questions. I don't know if there were any questions that there might have been a few that popped up. So while I'm looking for questions, I'm just going to ask Tegan, your plan is obviously to now go and complete this journey. Are you already thinking about something else after that? You are. I can see it. I just know you. You can. Thank you so much, Jim. Thank you. So what is going on in your mind? Because you're going to think to yourself, yeah, I'll finish this one, and then my next goal is, oh, you're not allowed to talk about it.
Well, I know something that I definitely want to do in the future is a woman-only bicycle adventure from Kara to Cape Town.
How far is that?
It's about
You've been doing your homework.
10,000 kilometers.
10,000 women only.
I've got a couple of friends who are insane ladies, long distance cycle. The winner of the transcontinental race, the female winner, and And I'm also in contact with the Rwandan national cycle team. They've got an amazing, some amazing ladies involved there. Including they've got this female cyclist called Joan of Arc, and
that is her name.
That is her name.
That is her name. I like that.
I think she's even younger than me, and she's winning like international titles and things. But anyway, she probably will be a bit busy. But they've got a lot of interesting connections with women in African cycling. So
you really are quite ambitious when it comes to projects and that type of thing. So I was talking to Jim earlier about being an edupreneur, but you are like a cyclingpreneur. You're looking at opportunities with a bicycle.
And cartoons. That's something that I want to focus more on next year is integrating the cartoons into the adventures even more. Like I have this concept that I keep with me when I'm cycling about adventure potatoes.
Adventure potatoes, yeah?
Who are basically these potatoes that live in the sky, and they decide what your adventure is going to be. So they can give you good weather or bad weather or punctures or meeting nice people. So if you make them angry, then they give you hail, for example.
And if you make them happy?
It's very difficult to make them happy. So I've learned there. And funnily enough, on my last trip in Wales, I actually started the trip. I bought this potato thinking that I would cook it. And then I didn't know how to use my stove. And by the time I figured out how to use the stove, I forgot that it was there. And so I cycled with this potato all the way, the whole trip, until I got back to England.
And you didn't do anything with the potato?
Well,
now it's become symbolic. Look what it did.
I mean, potato.
It was important to have the adventure potato with you to dream up these ideas.
And to bring it back to my initial point, I suppose, is that I would love to write a book explaining to people how to work with your adventure potato in cartoons.
That is very interesting. You see, this is what I like. I like it when people think outside of the box, but you've always been an outside of the box thinker. That is incredible. So we've got a few minutes left. There are a couple of things I need to know. Where do you find the funding to get this trip going? Because the grant is only going to cover so much.
Well, the grant is pretty much covering more or less everything.
Oh, so that's amazing. So you've got all your expenses covered.
It was a very generous grant. It was £5,000.
Which is about a gazillion rand if you convert that.
So that's why it's such a remarkable thing with Ultimate Consulting, that for a small company to make an investment like that, just because they like the idea of supporting something for a good cause, that's different. That I think it really reflects well on them and also on the world, how the world is starting to appreciate things that are edgy and.
Well, we like companies that think outside the box, so we'll put links to Ultimate Consulting because we think it's wonderful that they've taken the initiative to support Tegan on her wonderful journey. If you could make any predictions on how things are going to go from next month, what do you think is what are you hoping will be your prediction in terms of how long it takes to finish? You obviously have a goal that you'd like to set. You obviously have a timeline that you're working with, but do you have any predictions on what it might take you?
Look, realistically, I know that I can cover a half Ironman distance in a day very comfortably. So if theoretically I were to do that every day for the full 20 days, I would be able to do it in 20 days.
Yeah, but now you've factored out one part of the equation, that you could do a half Ironman comfortably in half a day. In a day.
Yeah.
But then you still need to recover. But if you're doing it for 20 days in a row, you might find that it's not so easy to recover.
maybe it will just get easier and easier every day.
Oh, I like the eternal optimist.
But I know in terms of if we do, the weather is notoriously a bit crazy there. Sometimes it snows. I know the water is going to be extremely cold. I've got wetsuit, balaclava, gloves.
We're going to talk about that wetsuit in a second.
I mean, I don't know if those things might slow us down a bit. I mean, it would be a dream if I actually had perfect conditions and was able to do it, just insanely fast. I think that would be fun, but maybe it would be less interesting for people watching, I think.
That's true. I mean, if they're going to watch you for 3 weeks and you do it in 2 days, and kind of defeats the purpose. How do you measure out the number of kilometers that you're swimming? Who's monitoring all of this?
So we are in the process of acquiring a Garmin watch sort of thing that will track my running and cycling. And the swimming, we are still trying to decide between getting a very, very expensive watch that can track open water swimming distances or tracking that out on the map and then just swimming the distance.
Does it have to be open water?
At the moment, yeah, it does. Yeah, no.
And we're talking ocean, we're talking lakes.
Well, that's the debate because the ocean, the water is a bit rougher, and salt water you get really bad wetsuit chafe. So apparently, I have to wear duct tape all around my neck to stop the chafing. But the ocean water will be a few degrees warmer than some of the lakes, which are glacial.
I was going to say the glacial lakes are a little bit chilly. So you've got a lot of problem solving that needs to be resolved, but you haven't finalized any of that yet. So when do you finalize that?
Well, when I get to New Zealand now, we'll probably finalize. I'm thinking for the swimming, I've been given a lot of good advice by people in New Zealand, and it looks like I'll swim sort of along the west coast of the South Island in the sea. But in terms of the route, I think we're literally just going to take it day by day, so that I will start and I'll get on my bike and I'll start cycling and I'll do a bit of running. And then when we get to a place that looks like I could swim there, I'll jump in the water, possibly.
Sure. Now, I saw some pictures of you wearing a wetsuit.
My ninja outfit.
Your ninja outfit. Have you ever done long distance swimming before in a wetsuit?
I have now, since I've been training, I've been...
You never owned a wetsuit before?
No.
And what was the furthest you'd ever swum before?
Well, in the pool, a few kilometers. Open water, 1 kilometer.
So 40 is quite a distance. But I mean, if you're doing it over 20 days, you're looking at about 2 kilometers a day, which is doable.
Which is definitely...
But it's in the ocean, which is not a swimming pool.
But I went to swim 2 kilometers in Fishhook the other day.
And how did that go?
And it was all good.
And
it
you
was
felt
cold.
comfortable?
Yeah. Yeah, I just got really terrible wetsuit chafe, which is why I now have to wear that.
You're going to have to lather up the Vaseline.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're obviously consulting with a lot of experts in order to make sure that this transition into the actual adventure is as painless as possible.
Yes.
Or you're looking to rediscover things that people could have told you shouldn't have to do at the end. I mean, you obviously want to avoid reinventing the bagel.
Well, I have been very grateful that people, so sort of even some of them without me asking, have emailed some really useful tips through from New Zealand. That my parents have been here. I only got back to Cape Town 2 or 3 weeks ago. My parents have been helping me a bit with doing some logistical organizing and buying the gear, because it is helpful to have sort of realistic people and not having to learn about wetsuit chafe and things.
Sure. I know we've got quite a few viewers from around the world who've joined in. If we have a look, I know that there are live viewers and we've got people who've joined in on the actual chat here as well. So for those of you who've joined us, welcome. I mean, I'm still in awe with trying to put all of this together. that you've got this mission. It's not in finality yet, and you're leaving next week to go to New Zealand to go and do what is known as the New Zealand Epic, which could become an annual event.
That would be so cool if we can.
Can you imagine you are the originator of the New Zealand Epic? It's just got such a cool name. But there are some people who take their exercise to the extreme. So I know some people who will go and cycle the Argus Cycle Tour, which is the largest cycling tour in the world.
It's the biggest timed cycle event.
The biggest timed cycle event in the world, the Cape Town Argus Cycle Tour. Pick and Pay Cycle Tour, I think it is.
Yeah, it's now just the Cape Town Cycle
Tour. It's now just called the Cape Town Cycle Tour.
That's such a ring to it.
And I mean, when I think of the number of people that are getting involved, some people choose to do the route there and they come all the way back. So, I mean, and how many kilometers is that?
I think it's about
108,
yeah,
109 kilometers.
Yeah.
So to do there and back is 216 Ks. There might be some crazy people who would think, we would love to join you on a journey like this. Let's just go buy a one-way ticket to New Zealand and go. Wouldn't that be cool? But now at the moment, you're probably targeting crazy New Zealanders.
Well,
and watching the way they play rugby, it's very possible that there are many of them out there. Just kidding, in case they come after me. So then we'll obviously try and promote the fact that you are out there. Have you been speaking to local media so that there's a little bit of excitement taking place?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. We are obviously trying to do as much promotion as we can. But if anybody knows anyone in New Zealand.
If you know anyone in New Zealand, that would be amazing if you could join in and actually suggest to the TV broadcasters or perhaps the newspapers to support Tegan on her journey, because of course all the money is raised goes straight into buying bicycles for those in need, which I think is amazing. That is a wonderful thing. So we've got a couple of minutes left. Are there any parting words or thoughts that you would like to share with young people when it comes to living the adventure of life? I mean, you finished at university and you could have gone into a full-time employment, but you're doing stuff that really excites you. Have you been told by your parents, okay, we understand you're going through a phase, and then when you finish the phase, you'll be ready to go into the real world? Or are they saying, I think that our daughter is going to be a trailblazer and people are going to want to learn all about this all the time. And she's going to be setting new races like the New Zealand Epic, and the next one will be the Women's Cape to Cairo. And I mean, you'll be setting brand new races. You could be very famous. Can you handle that? I notice you get nervous about that, but you're not nervous about cycling and running all those huge distances. Wow. So do you have a message to young people in terms of what it is they should be aspiring to do if they want to follow in your footsteps?
Well, I think something that I really learned, that I have learned over the years, but that really hit me last year, was that doing something that's a little bit different is sometimes very scary. Not scary in terms of like facing the lions and the elephants and things. That's scary. That's like a sort of exciting, fun, scary. But the real sort of challenges that my sister and I had to face was leaving behind what convention told us we should be doing. In terms of, I'd studied law, and all of my friends and I are going on to do articles and, you know, get a job where, you know, you're going to be earning a decent amount of money and have, like, I mean, it's scary to not do that and have people, or, I mean, we imagine that people are judging us all the time, saying, you know, you should be doing this, you should be like everybody else. But at the same time, I've always found it's easier to face those fears and those challenges than to have to deal with that little thing inside your heart that says, this is what you like doing, and I think this is what you should be doing. And if you ignore that thing, you just feel so uncomfortable. I think we all know the feeling of when there's something that you deep down you felt like you should have done and you don't do it. It's not a good feeling. And imagine living your whole life every day doing a thing that you know isn't the thing you should be doing.
I think you hit the nail on the head. You only live one life, and if you're going to spend your entire life doing what you don't enjoy, what a waste of a life. I'm in the very fortunate position, as you know, I get to do what I love every single day. And I don't only do what I do, I go and look for other things that I enjoy. I don't go and cycle 1,800 kilometers, but yes. But if I'm getting on a bike, I'm already taking those first few pedals. And there's a start. Maybe in the foreseeable future, cycling a Cape Town cycle tour. You never know. You never know. But I think that you should always climb out of your comfort zone, because that's how you grow. You don't grow from being who you are and doing the same things over and over again. You get quite good at what you do, but you don't grow as a person.
Yeah.
And I think that you have embarked on lifelong adventures that people could only wish they could go on. You've had the fortunate support of your family, which is also important.
Yeah.
But I think you hit the nail on the head when you've got that little calling inside that says, this is what I should be doing, and I'm willing to go against convention. And I'm willing to take that risk. What's the worst thing that could happen? It doesn't work out. And then you go and do what conventional people are doing. But if it does work out, the rewards are endless.
And I think there's lots of, it's difficult even to say what does it mean for something to work out. You know, it's just sort of following that path, and maybe you will, as you say, end up with the conventional route. But it's important to make lots of mistakes and just try.
Trying is everything. So now, just tell us about your social media campaign. Where will we find you on the internet? What should we be looking for? I will obviously share all the links as well, because Tegan has got lots and lots of information. So what should we be looking out for? Do you have a Facebook page?
Yes, I've got all the details.
Oh, you've got it. You've got all the details.
Business cards.
This is Tegan's cartoon work. She's done her own little business cards. I'll hold it up there so you guys can see it. New Zealand's longest triathlon. And then, of course, she's got the Unclipped Adventures. This is her blog where she does all these cartoons. And this is all done on the iPad, which is incredible. And, of course, here are all her details of her on the edge of a cliff holding the bicycle so that it doesn't fall off. And I see Lin Lin in Taiwan. She's busy nodding her head and smiling. So your social media, what is your Twitter account?
And then here's the New Zealand episode.
Okay,
So
let's do the, okay, Unclipped
read it
first.
out.
So Unclipped Adventure is your blog.
That's just all my cartoons, yeah.
Your cartoons. And that is at Unclipped. That's your Twitter account.
Without the E.
Without the E. So it's Unclipped, double PD, without the E. And then, of course, we've got your Instagram, which is Unclipped Adventure, but that does have an E.
Yeah.
Okay, because someone else decided to have
Twitter
Unclipped
we
Adventure.
didn't have enough space to.
Okay, so Twitter was quite funny about it. And of course, Facebook is Unclipped Adventure.
Yeah.
I will put links to this. And you've got a website, unclippedadventure.com. And Unclipped Adventure does have an E in it. And then, of course, your NewZealandEpic.com.
That's got a cartoon video on it.
That's got a cartoon video that you designed?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
how I got the grant, actually, is by making a cartoon video.
So you actually marketed yourself and you got the video because of that. That is incredible. And your Twitter for the New Zealand Epic is at VNZ. In America, they say Z. So it's the NZ Epic, one word. And then, of course, your Instagram is the New Zealand Epic, one word. And then your Facebook is the New Zealand Epic. So we'll obviously be liking all those pages and sharing all those things. And I think that if you follow Tegan's adventures, If you read up about what Tegan's trying to do, if you're happy to support Tegan, she'd be most appreciative. And I've got a message here from Lyndon. She says, I hope that you come and ride a bike in Taiwan.
Yes.
Have you got any plans to go to Taiwan?
Well, maybe we'll see. I'd love to cycle from Australia upwards, but we will have to see.
Okay, you never know. So
Definitely
Lyndon,
one day.
you never know. We might have Tegan joining you on your side. And of course, we have Tanya Fletcher in the US. Have you done the US at all?
I can't wait to go there.
Okay, so this is amazing. So if you are willing to cycle that far, 10 triathlons is equivalent to maybe riding, how wide is the United States?
3,000 miles.
3,000 miles. How many kilometers is that?
Maths.
How many miles? About 2 miles per, 2 kilometers per mile, 1.6, about 18,000 kilometers. Is that right?
You looking at me?
I'm looking, it's about 18,000 kilometers. And you are riding?
1,800. But last year we did 11,000.
You did 11,000. So you could potentially ride around the whole of the United States.
I would love to do that.
Well, that's just a quote.
Oh, that's just a
Yeah.
well, I mean, you know what I'm
Maybe I
saying.
can do
You can
all
go
the
zigzag
states,
and
yeah, that will be. And I'll have to think of something new as well to incorporate. To try something.
I like it. Is Ultim Consulting only for New Zealand?
Well, they do adventures all over the world, so maybe
So then
one day.
maybe, Ultim, I hope you're paying attention. Maybe Tegan needs to go to Taiwan and to the US to go and cycle over there. Well, Tegan, I'd like to thank you so much for giving up of your time. I know that you are scurrying to get everything together for your trip. I mean, it's very, very exciting that you are going to be doing this epic thing. And of course, as a gesture of our support, we would like to buy a bicycle to support your campaign. So I'll organize that with you, and we'll make sure that at least one bicycle goes to a worthy child that is going to be cycling.
Look, there y'all are.
A race because they're such a wonderful cyclist. So hopefully you guys will also join in and support. Oh, we have Miss Fletcher's students there who are waving and cheering. Let's get a photograph of you guys.
Hi guys.
Awesome, awesome. Do you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask Tegan? So Tanya, do any of your kids have a question they'd like to ask Tegan?
Yeah,
Hi.
I'm very curious. So can you hear my voice?
I don't know if we can hear.
There's a little icon.
I don't know. She unmuted herself.
Oh, is that here?
But if it's not working, maybe you can type the question if you want to in the chat. I can see a couple of hands up over there. Yes, Tanya, you? And Govinda from Nepal has just...
Do you know sound for me? Okay, I'd like to know where is the bike from?
Okay, so on the way to Taiwan, hopefully she will also get to cycle in Nepal. So Tanya, if any of your kids want to ask a question, if the microphone's not working, you can always just type the question. And I think maybe maybe the thing switched off. That's why we couldn't hear you. Do you want to try it now? How many miles?
What about
now?
now?
We can hear you. Now we can hear you.
Oh, great! Finally.
So
Okay,
Tanya, if you
one
unmute yourself, then maybe one of the kids can actually ask a question.
Okay, well, what an awesome girl I have ever met. Thank you for this opportunity to listen
see
to
if I can
your
unmute her.
great adventure. Yes, and I'd like to know.
Okay. No. Tanya, you can
your
speak.
bicycle.
Maybe one of the kids wants to ask a question.
Okay, so all right. So I'd like to
You
know.
unmute, Tanya. Yeah, we've unmuted. Okay.
Hi. They want to know how many miles did you swim at one time?
You're not hearing any sound.
Okay. It's okay. How many miles have you swum at one time?
Okay, we can't hear you, Tanya. So then you'll have to type your question. But I think, Govinda, did we hear you?
Sorry,
Is it-
guys.
I'm sorry, I'm up.
It could be my
very late.
speaker that's causing the issues. And if I unplug this, is that better? No? All right, so Tanya wanted to know, what was the question there? She wanted to know how many miles did you swim. So Tegan hasn't done this adventure yet. She's going on her adventure next week, and she is going to be cycling how many kilometers?
1,800.
1,800 kilometers. She's going to be swimming 40 kilometers, and she is going to be cycling, running, 422 kilometers, which is insane, absolutely insane. But we love the fact that you were able to join us. We're going to have to say goodbye now, and we thank Jim Adams, who's all the way from the USA. Thank you for joining us as well, for making a cameo appearance. And to Tegan and to Lyndon for joining us for the whole talk. And Govinda, we missed you. We only caught you at the last bit, but maybe you were watching it live. And if you didn't see it, you can always watch it on livingmaths.com. So thank you so much. We're going to say goodbye. And Tegan, we're going to get a photograph. You want to come and lean into the camera here? We're going to just go like this. And we're going to do like a selfie. Where's the, okay, 1, 2, and you're going to look, let me just do this. We're going to do that. So we get a full screen. There we go. And we get a smile. And another one. Let's just wait for that to go away. And we need one with Jim. Jim, you're going to kind of be in the selfie too.
All right.
Absolutely. Okay, are you ready? We got everyone in? One more just in case. Oh, look at that. We've got Govinda smiling. And we'll do one with Lyndon. Hold on, Lyndon, stay there. Got you. And one of Govinda. Ready. Got it. Okay. Thank you very, very much. I'm going to stop the broadcast here.